The Hall of Stars was silent, not the calm silence of peace, but the heavy silence that came before destruction. The throne chamber of the most powerful alien queen in the universe. It's larger than cities. Its walls were made of living crystal that glowed with slow, breathing light. Outside the transparent ceiling, a dying star burned red and gold, reminding everyone inside that life and death obeyed the queen alone. Thousands of alien rulers, commanders, and observers filled the floating platforms around the throne species that had conquered galaxies, beings who had ended civilizations with a single order. All of them waited, and at the center of it all sat the queen. She was ancient beyond numbers. Her presence bent gravity. Her eyes held the memory of wars older than most stars. No one dared to look at her directly for long today. She was here for one reason: humanity. Humans were new to the galactic stage, weak by every known measure, short-lived, fragile, and divided, yet somehow they had survived every test placed before them. This meeting would decide their fate. At the far end of the chamber, a lone human stood on a small platform. His name was Aaron, an envoy chosen not for strength or rank, but for his ability to speak plainly. Aaron felt very small. His boots trembled against the metal floor, not from fear alone, but from the energy in the room. It pressed against his chest, made it hard to breathe. Every alien I watched him, some with curiosity, most with hunger. This was how it ended for many species. Aaron remembered the warnings. Do not speak unless spoken to. Do not show emotion. Do not meet her eyes. He tried to steady his breath. The queen moved the chamber, reacted instantly. Lights shifted, guards tightened their grip on weapons that could erase continents. The air itself seemed to bend toward her throne. She leaned forward slightly. That small movement carried more power than fleets of warships. Human envoy, the queen said. Her voice echoed directly inside every mind. Present, not loud, not soft, perfect. Why does your kind seek recognition among stars you cannot rule? Aaron swallowed. He had practiced answers, careful answers, safe answers, but standing here under her gaze, everything felt unreal. He spoke. Humans do not seek to rule. We seek to belong. A ripple passed through the chamber. Some aliens laughed quietly. Others hissed in anger. The queen watched him closely. Belong. She repeated. Interesting word. She rose from her throne. The motion sent a wave of force across the hall. Several beings fell to one knee. Aaron barely remained standing. She descended the steps. Slowly, each step deliberate, each step terrifying. As she approached, Aaron felt something unexpected. Not fear, not hatred, a strange excitement. The queen stopped only a few steps away, close enough that Aaron could see the fine patterns across her skin like starlight frozen into form. She studied him, not as prey, not as enemy, but as something new. Your heart is loud, she said. You hide it poorly. Aaron laughed. It escaped before he could stop himself. The sound echoed sharply. Every guard raised their weapon. The queen lifted one finger. All weapons powered down instantly. Why do you laugh? She asked. Aaron exhaled, realizing there was no turning back, because he said, I never thought I would stand this close to someone who carries the weight of the universe and still feel this alive. The room froze. Even the living walls dimmed. No one had ever spoken to the queen like this. Her eyes narrowed, but not in anger and curiosity. Alive, she repeated. Aaron nodded. Yes, your presence is overwhelming, but also beautiful. His mind screamed at him to stop, to kneel, to apologize, but the words kept coming. You look. He hesitated, then finished honestly. You look very sensual. Time broke. The hall went silent in a way it never had before. No sound, no movement, no breath. Some aliens collapsed from shock. Others stared in disbelief. Guards prepared to fire despite orders no being had ever dared speak such words to the queen. Aaron realized what he had done. He waited to die. Seconds passed. Then the queen smiled. It was not cruel, not amused. It was genuine. Say that again, human, she said. Aaron looked up slowly. The entire galaxy seemed to lean closer. And in that moment, no one knew that a single human sentence had just begun to change everything. No one moved. The throne chamber stayed frozen, as if time itself was afraid to continue. The glowing walls stopped their slow pulse. The distant dying star outside seemed to hold its fire. Aaron stood alone before the most powerful alien queen in the universe. His heart was beating so loud he was sure others could hear it. He had spoken the forbidden words, not an insult, not a threat, but something far more dangerous, honest admiration around them. Thousands of alien leaders waited for the end. They had seen species erased for far less, entire worlds burned because someone spoke out of turn. The guards closest to the queen were ready, their weapons hummed with silent power, each one capable of ending Aaron in a breath, yet none of them fired because the queen had smiled. It was a small expression, barely there, but it shook the chamber more than any scream. Aaron did not bow, did not kneel. He simply stood, unable to take his eyes away. The queen tilted her head slightly, studying him like a rare star formation. Say that again? Human, she repeated, her voice calm, almost gentle. Every being present felt the danger. This was not a command. It was a test. Aaron knew if he spoke again, there would be no forgiveness. He took a slow breath. I meant no disrespect, he said carefully. Humans speak what they feel sometimes before fear can stop us, eh? Few alien rulers whispered among themselves. They could not understand how the human was still alive. The queen stepped closer. The air grew heavy. Gravity shifted. Some platforms lowered slightly under her presence. What did you feel? She asked. Aaron hesitated, then answered truthfully. I felt excitement, wonder, and respect. Respect, the queen repeated, as if tasting the word. Many feared her, many worshipped her, but respect was rare. She circled Aaron slowly, her footsteps silent, her shadow stretching across the floor. You saw power, she said. You saw authority. Why choose such a word? Aaron turned carefully to keep facing her. Because power alone is not what defines you, he said. Your presence commands attention, not through fear but confidence. Some alien leaders reacted angrily. This was too much to familiar. The queen raised her hand. Silence returned confidence. She said, interesting. She stopped in front of him again. For centuries, beings have bowed. They have lied. They have praised what they feared. You did none of that. Aaron swallowed. I forgot to be afraid, he admitted. The queen studied his face, searching for deception, finding none outside the chamber. The star flared brighter, casting red light across both of them. The queen turned away. She walked back toward her throne, each step slow, thoughtful. The moment she sat, the tension did not fade. Human envoy, she said, you will remain here. A shockwave of reactions followed. Some rulers protested, others demanded explanation. The queen raised one finger. Your kind has spoken boldly, she continued, and boldness must be understood. Aaron felt a strange mix of fear and relief. Am I a prisoner? He asked. The queen looked at him. No, she said. You are a question. The chamber stirred with unease. A question, she continued, that the galaxy has avoided asking. She leaned back into her throne. Can honesty exist in a universe built on fear? The words echoed in every mind. Aaron realized then this meeting was no longer about humanity asking for survival. It was about the galaxy being challenged. The queen dismissed the council platforms, began to drift away. Leaders departed in stunned silence. News would spread faster than light, faster than truth. A human had spoken freely and lived. Guards escorted Aaron not to a cell, but to a chamber overlooking the stars. As the doors closed behind him, Aaron looked out into space. His hands still trembled. He did not know what tomorrow would bring, but far across the galaxy, empires were already reacting. Alliances, whispering fleets, repositioning. Fear growing because the most powerful alien queen had smiled at a human, and nothing scared the galaxy more than change. Aaron stood alone, watching the stars, unaware that history had already shifted and that the words he spoke would echo far beyond his life. Aaron did not sleep. The chamber given to him was quiet, too quiet. Beyond the wide crystal window, the stars drifted slowly. Massive shapes moved in the dark. Ships larger than cities guarding a throne world that had never known threat. Aaron stood near the window, hands resting against the cool surface. His reflection looked small, almost unreal. He kept replaying the moment, the words, the silence, the smile. No human had ever caused that reaction. Far away within the core of the palace, the alien queen sat alone. She had dismissed advisors, ignored warnings, silenced fear. This alone was unheard of. She watched recordings of the moment. Again and again, the human voice, unsteady but honest. The word spoken without calculation. Sensual. The word carried no insult, no demand, no weakness. It was observation that disturbed her more than hatred ever could. For centuries, she had been power itself. Fear had shaped every conversation, every decision, every lie, but this human had spoken as if she were simply a being, not a god. She closed her eyes. Memories surfaced. Old ones from before empires, before crowns, a time when she too had spoken freely. The door to Aaron's chamber opened silently to guards. Entered, but they did not point weapons. They stepped aside. The queen entered. Aaron turned instantly, heart racing, but he did not kneel, not because he was brave, but because his legs would not move. You do not sleep. The queen said. Aaron shook his head too much. Thinking he replied, she walked closer, not invading but present humans. Think when afraid, she said. Aaron considered. We think when excited too, he answered. This made her pause. Tell me, she said, what did you expect when you spoke? Aaron was on his death. He said, why then, she asked. Aaron looked past her, toward the stars, because fear felt smaller than silence. The queen felt something tightened inside her. Silence, she repeated. She had ruled through silence, kept the galaxy obedient through unspoken threat, and now silence felt heavy. She circled the room slowly. Humans, she said, are short-lived. Yet you risk everything with words. Aaron nodded. Because words are the only thing that can outlive us. The queen stopped. No species had ever framed existence like that. Most sought survival. Humans sought meaning. She studied him again. You did not see me as untouchable, she said. Aaron met her eyes. I saw someone who never gets honest reactions. He said. That was the moment the queen felt exposed, not weak, not threatened. Seen across the palace, alarms whispered silently, not sounding but alerting. High council members had gathered without permission. Panic spread. Rumors grew. The queen was distracted. The queen was changing. This was dangerous. The queen sensed the shift, but did not turn away. They fear you, Aaron said quietly. They fear what they do. Not control, she corrected. She looked back toward the window for a long time. I believed fear was stability. Aaron said nothing. Then she asked, what do humans do when fear rules them? Aaron answered slowly, we break or we change. The queen absorbed this. Outside, the stars continued their endless motion. She made a decision. You will walk this world freely, she said. No guards, no chains. Aaron blinked. Are you sure? The queen nodded. Truth cannot be tested in cages. With that, she turned and left. Within minutes, the palace erupted. Orders countered orders. Guards confused leaders. Furious. Never had a non-royal walked freely here. Aaron stepped into the halls. Aliens stared. Some backed away. Others whispered. A human. Unchained. News spread like fire across sectors, across empires. A single human had entered the queen's presence, spoken forbidden words, and now walked beneath her protection. Fear sharpened. Some saw opportunity. Others saw threat. In a distant chamber, representatives of ancient races met in secret. The queen is compromised, one said. Humans influenced through weakness. Another hissed. This cannot continue. A plan formed. Quiet, precise, final. Aaron felt it before anyone warned him. A pressure in the air. A shift in instinct. He turned. Shadows moved. Wrong. A blade formed from light ignited behind him before it could strike the corridor. Bent reality. Twisted. The queen stood between Aaron and death. Her eyes burned. You test me, she said. The attackers vanished, not destroyed, but erased from existence. The palace fell silent. Aaron realized something. Then the galaxy was not afraid of humans. It was afraid of what humans awakened. The queen turned to Aaron. This, she said, is the price of honesty? Aaron nodded. Then I will pay it far beyond the throne world. Fleets began to move because the galaxy had decided if words could change the queen, then words were more dangerous than war. The palace did not return to calm even after the attackers were erased, even after the corridors were repaired. A quiet tension spread. Through every level, Aaron could feel it. It followed him like a shadow. Not hatred, not anger, fear. Aliens stepped aside when he passed. Some lowered their eyes. Others stared openly. A human walking freely in the queen's domain was a sign the universe no longer understood itself. Aaron did not feel powerful. He felt exposed far above. The palace hidden chambers awakened. Ancient halls that had not been used in centuries lit up once more. Representatives arrived in silence. No announcements. No escorts. Beings of old empires, races that had survived extinction cycles, lords who answered only to themselves. They gathered around a floating star map. The queen has changed. One of them said. She has not changed. Another replied. She has been reminded. This is worse. They watched recordings of Aaron, his words, his calm honesty. A human, they said, has found a way past fear. Fear is the foundation of order, one voice echoed. If fear fails, so does control. They agreed on one thing. The human could not be allowed to live, not because he was dangerous alone, but because he proved something that even gods could be spoken to. Back in the palace, Aaron stood on a balcony overlooking the city-like structure. Below, layers upon layers of light and movement. The queen joined him. "You sense it," she said. Aaron nodded. "Yes, they are planning." He answered she did not deny it for the first time. She looked tired. "For centuries," she said, "they obeyed because they feared me." And now Aaron finished the thought. "Now they fear losing you." She looked at him. "And they blame you." Aaron did not look away. "That is fair," he said. The queen studied him. "Do you regret your words?" Aaron shook his head. "No," he said, "but I regret the danger they bring to others." She was silent for a long moment. "You carry responsibility easily," she said. "Humans learn early," Aaron replied. The queen turned from the balcony. "Come," she said. She led him through parts of the palace. No outsider had seen halls carved from crystal memory rooms that echoed with past decisions. They stopped before a sealed chamber. Inside, she said, "is the heart of my power." Aaron felt the air hum. "Why show me?" he asked. "Because they will try to use it against me," she said. The chamber opened. Inside floated an object like a broken star, contained, bound alive. Aaron felt his skin prickle. "This," the queen said, "is why they fear honesty." Aaron understood power built on fear cannot survive truth. Alarms rippled silently across the palace. This time they were real. Fleet signatures appeared across the system. Dozens, then hundreds. An alliance formed in secret, now moving openly. "They demand your surrender," Aaron said. "No," the queen replied. "They demand proof. Proof that I am still what they fear." She turned to him. "And I will not give it." The palace shook as distant weapons powered up. Aaron looked at her. "What happens now?" She answered without hesitation. "Now humanity is tested." Aaron felt the weight of it. "Me," he said. "Your kind," she corrected. "The galaxy will watch," she continued, "how humans act when protected by power they did not create." Aaron took a breath, then let them watch. The queen smiled again, not softly but proudly. She opened a channel. Her image appeared across fleets, across worlds, across councils. She spoke. "Humans stand under my protection. Any attack on them is an attack on me." The galaxy held its breath. Some fleets slowed, others advanced. Then something unexpected happened. A human signal joined the channel. Earth, small, fragile, unarmed human leaders, spoke not with threats, not with demands, but with words. "We do not seek shelter," they said. "We seek understanding. We did not send Aaron to weaken you." They continued. "We sent him to speak for us." The silence that followed was deeper than before. The queen closed the channel. She looked at Aaron. "This," she said, "is why you are dangerous." Aaron felt fear finally rise, not of death, but of hope, far across the system. The first shots were fired, not at the palace, but at human colonies. The war had begun. Not against the queen, but against the idea that words could change the universe. Aaron clenched his fists. "Then we answer," he said. The queen nodded. Together, and as fleets moved and stars burned, the galaxy learned a new truth. Fear could start wars, but courage could end them. The news reached Aaron in silence. Screens across the palace showed burning skies. Human colonies struck without warning, small worlds that had never raised weapons now glowing with fire. Aaron felt his chest tighten. "They did not attack you," he said to the queen. "They attacked us because you are easier to hurt," she replied. Her voice carried no anger, only certainty. Around them, the palace moved into readiness. Not panic, not chaos, calculation. Defense grids awakened. Ancient systems older than the empires now attacking. The throne world could erase fleets if it wished, but the queen did not give the order. Aaron turned toward her. "You could stop this," he said. She nodded. "Yes." "Then why?" "Because if I do," she said, "they will learn nothing." Aaron struggled with that. "People are dying," he said. The queen looked at him. "And now the galaxy is watching how humanity responds." That truth struck harder than any weapon. Humanity had never faced this kind of choice, protected by the most powerful being alive, yet attacked because of it. The easy path was obvious. Hide, let the queen burn their enemies. Survive. Aaron felt sick at the thought. He activated the human channel again. Leaders from Earth appeared, tired, shaken, but standing. They expected rage orders. Demands instead. Aaron spoke. "Do not retaliate," he said. The human leaders froze. "Our worlds are burning." "One of them," said Aaron, nodded. "I know then why another demanded. Because if we answer fear with fear, we prove them right." The queen watched silently. Aaron continued. "We answer with truth. With unity, with courage, the human council fell quiet. Then one by one they agreed. Human fleets did not mobilize. Human weapons did not fire. Instead, human voices spread messages sent across open channels to allies, to enemies. "We are not your threat," they said. "We are your mirror." This confused the attackers. They had prepared for resistance, for screaming. For revenge, they were not prepared for restraint. Within the palace, advisors begged the queen to intervene. "Let us end this." They urged, she refused. "Watch," she said. And the galaxy did as days passed. Some attackers slowed, hesitated, others pressed harder. Angered by the lack of response, but cracks began to form. Pilots questioned orders. Commanders hesitated. Why destroy those who do not strike back? Why fear those who refuse to hate the queen? Turn to Aaron, your kind fights differently. She said, "We learned the hard way," he replied. Then the unthinkable happened. A non-aligned empire, ancient and powerful, withdrew its fleet. Their message echoed, "We will not war against those who choose peace." Another followed, then another. The alliance began to fracture. Fear lost its grip. Those who remained aggressive grew isolated, desperate. They launched a final strike aimed not at humans but at the throne world. The queen felt it instantly. Weapons, powerful enough to wound reality itself, approached Aaron. "Looked at her now," he said. The queen stood now. She rose from her throne, not in anger, but resolve. Her power unfolded, not as destruction, but present space-bent weapons. Failed fleets froze in place. She spoke, "Once this ends." Those who attacked humans were stripped of command, their fleets disabled, their leaders exposed to their own people. No worlds were destroyed, no species erased. Fear was removed, not life. Silence returned, but it was different now. The galaxy understood. The queen turned to Aaron. "You have changed the rules," she said. Aaron shook his head. "We just refused to play the old ones." The war ended not with victory, but with understanding. Human colonies were rebuilt with help from former enemies. Alliances formed without coercion. For the first time, the galaxy had seen power restrained by principle. Aaron prepared to leave the throne world. The queen walked with him to the departure platform. "You will return to your people," she said. Aaron nodded. "And you?" he asked. "I will rule," she answered. "But never the same way again." She paused. "Your words mattered," she said. Aaron smiled faintly. "Words always do." As his ship departed, the throne world faded into starlight. The galaxy watched, not in fear, but expectation, because humanity had stood not behind a god, but beside one, and the universe would never forget thee. Moment courage proved stronger than fear. The human ship moved quietly away from the throne world. Aaron stood alone inside the viewing chamber. Watching the vast palace shrink into distant light, he felt no triumph, no pride, only weight behind him. The door opened softly. The alien queen entered without guards, without symbols of rule. For the first time since Aaron had met her, she did not feel like a ruler. She felt like a being. "The galaxy will speak of this moment for ages," she said. Aaron nodded. "They will change the story," he replied. "They always do." She looked at him. How would you tell it, Aaron thought. For a long moment that fear ruled until it was questioned. The queen accepted this. Then she surprised him. "You will not be erased from records," she said. "You will not be hidden." Aaron turned. "I do not want to be a symbol," he said. She stepped closer. "Symbols are not chosen," she replied. "They happen." The ship slowed. Holding position outside, the stars shifted new routes, opening old borders. Fading news traveled faster than light. Humans were no longer prey, no longer protected children. They were listeners, speakers. Bridges on Earth, crowds gathered not in celebration but silence. They watched recordings of Aaron standing before a being of absolute power, without weapons. Children asked questions, leaders listened. For the first time, humanity saw itself reflected in the galaxy, not as conquerors, not as victims, but as something new back on the ship. Aaron prepared to leave the viewing chamber. "Before you go," the queen said. He paused. "Why did you really speak?" she asked. Aaron did not answer immediately. "Because I thought, if someone like you only hears fear, then the universe must be very lonely." The queen closed her eyes. No one had ever said that to her. When she opened them, they were calm. "Go," she said. Aaron bowed his head, not in submission, but respect. As he walked away, the queen remained watching the stars alone, but no longer isolated. The human ship jumped to light. And the galaxy changed. Years passed. The event became known by many names. The moment of silence, the honest sentence, the day fear. Hesitated, but among humans it was remembered simply as the day someone spoke honestly. Human embassies opened across the stars, not guarded by fleets, but by trust. Some failed, some succeeded, but none were ignored. The queen ruled still, but she listened now when empires threatened. She asked why when wars began. She asked who benefited. And when silence returned, it was chosen. Aaron lived quietly on Earth. He refused power. Refused titles. He taught, he spoke, he listened. People asked him, "Were you not afraid?" He always answered yes. But fear does not mean silence. One day, many years later, a child asked him, "Did you change the galaxy?" Aaron smiled. "No," he said. "The galaxy changed itself. I just reminded it that words exist far away." The alien queen watched a young ruler take their first throne. Nervous, afraid, she remembered a human voice shaking honest, and she smiled because the echo of that moment never truly faded. It lived in every choice, every pause before destruction, every question asked instead of an order. The universe remained dangerous, chaotic, vast, but it was no longer silent, and that more than fleets, more than power, was humanity's greatest legacy.